welcome to our guest. We have Dr. Monique Walker joining us today. She is a medical doctor, TEDx speaker, and a personal development coach who helps women find their voices, redefine their lives, and live in their purpose on purpose. Today we'll be discussing the book, Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin, and Joe Dominguez, foreword by Mr. Money Mustache. So let's get started. Okay, team. In one word or sentence, give me your synopsis of the book. If you were the author, what main point do you want the reader to take away from this book? So how about we start with Joseph to give Monique a little
bit of a break.
Yeah.
The word I would choose is awareness. I think it's really important that you do not avoid your money problems. They describe it as the last taboo, money, along with death and sex and other things that people don't want to talk about. But if you ignore it, you end up making a lot of mistakes that other people make. She calls it spending all your money on things that you don't even want to impress people you don't even like. I think she says that in this book. So the main thing is to be aware of what's happening with your money so you can be in control of it. Because if you're not in control of your money, then your money will be in control of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Monique?
I believe that the one word that comes to mind is transform, or being transformational.
Yeah.
In other words, once you start reading that book, you're at a place where you're looking at your finances in one way, where you're looking at money as just money, as opposed to looking at it as time expended or time expenditure, where you're actually giving your time to something in exchange for money. So by the time you work your way through the book, your mindset is completely transformed. You change the way you look at money, the way you handle money, because you start to value your time more than your money. So transformational. It's a transformational book.
Yeah.
And I agree. She took what I was going to say. Because Vicki Robin says right here, basically money is something that you trade your life energy for. So essentially, like, you know, the title is Your Money or Your Life. That's exactly what she means. Like, literally, you're either like spending, the only real thing that you sell is your time, the hours of your life for money. So, you know, that's mainly the whole point of the book, is she gets you to reevaluate your whole life. Like, what are you spending your money on and why? Is it worth your life energy? Because, like, are you really happy with your job? If not, like, could you be working something else on the side and instead, like, give away your job completely? And that's what she gets you to evaluate, all these extra little expenses. Are you going on a vacation to escape your life? So now you're spending more money to get away from it, and you're not happy. So that's the whole synopsis of the book from my perspective, is she gets you to really evaluate, is it worth your life? Like, how do you want to live your life? And are you happy with it? And if not, change it. This is what the book is going to help you do.
So is it fair to call it a conscious transformational book?
I agree. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Very conscious. Okay, perfect. So, next question. Tell us what you liked best about the book, and tell us what you disliked about the book. Monique, we'll start with you this time.
What I liked best about the book was the transformational piece, bringing people to that place of self-awareness where it kind of jolts you. It's like, oh shoot, wait a minute. I've been looking at money wrong all along, and I'm able to do something about it. I'm able to change my prior behavior. So I really love that it empowers the reader to get actively involved in looking within, as opposed to looking at the material thing called money, but looking within and charting out, okay, how many hours am I exchanging in exchange for this blouse, right? It for me, I feel that was my favorite part. It was very empowering to read it and to see the steps that were provided for the reader to be able to walk away with a different relationship with money. The one thing that I did not like about the book was the practicality of it. I felt that it was a very well-written book, very informative, but usually when you have someone who's looking for that type of knowledge, they need practicality, and they need it up front. I talk about Dave Ramsey all the time. Love Dave. Dave has saved my life financially. And she mentions Dave Ramsey in this book. The thing that I like about Dave is that when you read his book, he pretty much, it's a short read. His reads are not like exorbitantly long. It's a short read, but it's practical steps. Step 1, this is what you do. Step 2, this is what you do. I felt that the way that it was lined out, step 1, this is step 1, yes. But let's go through all of this conversation before we get to the practical part of step 1.
Yeah.
So I feel like the reader could get lost, especially if you're not a well-informed financial reader.
Yeah.
The person could get lost. So that was what my downside was for it. It just needed to be more direct and more practical.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of that. I agree with that point. Essentially also because they do have step 1, step 2, 9 steps to financial freedom. That's the book. So, but on one of the points, she goes in to say that, read the whole book first and then go back and you can do the steps. So
Right.
at the same time, though, I really do enjoy the way that she wrote it because she did make it practical in the sense that she gave you a lot of examples
Right,
on what
right.
how you can let's say you have to do a monthly tabulation of how much you're spending, and then she goes into details. Okay, first you track everything, and then you can figure out how you can downsize. Do I really need this extra subscription here and there? And you can add it up and see how much you're spending that you don't need to spend. So that's, I guess I'm kind of in between, I guess you could say, on that part. I like it because it's the steps, and I'm the kind of person that I need direction. I need you to tell me exactly what to do.
Right.
Which it did, but I also agree with you that,
It was drawn out.
Yeah.
It was drawn out.
It was very lengthy.
It was very
Yeah.
lengthy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For me,
Joseph.
what I like the most, I think I'm going to piggyback off what you
Okay.
said.
Boo.
I love piggyback. I hated
No,
that.
you're fine.
What I liked the most was those exercises that they were talking about, but I'll say what my favorite exercise was. Because it made me realize a mistake that I sometimes made or have made in the past, was where you list all your expenses and you say, does this make me feel happy and satisfied? Or am I is it something that's actually taking energy away from my life?
Right.
That was huge for me, and I actually started I have my clients do that now on their expense sheet. I'll have them put either a happy face or a sad face or just a neutral face next to it. And that's huge because that reminded me of when I first started as a financial advisor, and I used to do really stupid stuff with my money. I would just throw it away. Once I got a big commission check, and I went to go get some Tokyo beef, or what's it called, Kobayashi beef.
Yeah.
And I took a girl I was trying to impress, and I paid for her, and it was $200 per steak. Whew. I was just throwing my money right back, and I'm acting like I was rich. I wasn't rich. Maybe I would be rich if I hadn't been making those stupid mistakes back then. So I love that because it really, you need to be. It's about awareness, like we were saying, being conscious of how you're spending money. Is it really adding value to you? There's some things I love doing, spending money on piano lessons. I love that. And if something's taking energy from me, I shouldn't be spending money on it.
Right.
And I'm going to piggyback on that again because I did.
Would you quit with the
I know, I
piggyback?
can't
On
help it.
podcast.
So
We're gonna fall over.
there was this one point that she made, because when you're reading it and they're what ways can you cut back on this? Stop buying this, stop buying that, and then you kind of almost feel attacked a little bit, oh no, I have to, if I want to be financially successful, I can't buy these things anymore, and it can be really scary at first. But then, like Joseph said, you have to think about it. Does this make me happy? And then she does say that. Let's say you buy a flowers for yourself.
Right.
If that really does, you're enjoying it on a daily basis, and it does bring joy to your life, then good, keep
Right.
it, buy it. That's fine. She's more talking in the sense of don't buy she calls it a gazingas pin.
Right.
So if you see something shiny or whatever, I'm gonna go out on a dinner and buy the steak, just cause. And if it didn't really bring you immense joy, then you're throwing your money away, you're throwing your life away. But it's different. Buy stuff that you really enjoy. So she just mainly just think about what you really enjoy. That's the whole point of the book. Like I said, is to have a happy life and just be smart with what you spend.
And then she talked about purpose as well.
Yes.
Which was, I think that really was powerful to be able to do activities like your piano lessons is purposeful for you.
Yeah.
As opposed to buying a $200 steak, right?
Just trying to impress people, which never makes you happy.
Right.
I promise.
Yeah. Okay. So next question and final question. What is something that you learned from this book that you didn't know before? And tell me one or more examples of how you're going to apply what you've learned in your real life. Who wants to go first? Shawn.
The concept of enough. What is enough? Everybody talks about getting more and more and more, but what is enough? So the concept of enough, where we talk about how much do you really need to be happy and what makes you happy, and then just sticking with those things as opposed to just grabbing everything or just getting more or more money and those types of deals, never quitting. Everybody seems to want more, but no one ever talks about enough. So one of the things I did is I figured out how much enough was. And so that's how in 2024, I should be financially independent, because I'll have enough and have enough to sustain myself without having to work for my money anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Exactly.
That is awesome.
Yeah, she essentially gets you to think about what you want out of life, and that's what evaluate how much you need to live, the bare minimum, I guess, of what you need to survive, and then you can do the math, calculate if you want to invest in bonds or stocks, and based on that interest rate, how many years does that interest accumulate? Can you say retire and quit your job and do whatever you want? So that's what Shawn's talking about. By doing that process, he can be financially independent in 2024. So that's his goal, and that's what he's moving towards. Good job, Shawn. Okay, what about you, Monique? You want to go next?
The thing that I learned from the book, I think, was the piece about your money, your life. Mm-hmm. I mean, just the title in itself, your money or your life. Mm-hmm. As a professional, I go and I work, and I never think to sit down and see, well, yeah, you're giving me this as a salary or as an hourly wage, but what am I really making? Yeah, I know IRS takes a certain percentage off, but wait a minute, there is time and energy expenditures outside of the work hours. You have to get ready for work, you have to drive there, you have to make preparations, your clothing, I mean, just different things you don't take into consideration. And the example that she gave of the person making $25 an hour, I believe is what they thought they were making. At least that's what it said on the paper, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, when they did all of the calculations and it came out to be $10 an hour, it was just whoa.
Yeah.
Reality check. What am I doing? Am I exchanging my life for money at a rate that someone has made up? And then they show you this overinflated number, which you're really not working for. So I think that for me, that was probably the most important wake-up call when I was reading that book. And I feel that as far as application is concerned, as I was a student for but so long, now I'm finally finished with school, as I get back and transition back into the workforce, it is something that I'm going to consider as I look at different job offers. Where am I going to take the job? Is it going to be closer to home, further from home? What am I really making? Am I even going to go on payroll again? So those are things that I have to seriously consider. So that's
But now you know what your life is worth.
Exactly.
So you're not going to take a job that doesn't pay as much as you deserve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Joseph, what about you?
The thing I had never thought about before was the idea of money as life energy, which I know has been mentioned before. And that really put into perspective how I waste a lot of my money, or I used to waste a lot of my money, and it's just a huge mistake to do that. I think that was just something that you need to be very purposeful and very intentional of how you use your money, and it should be used as a tool for what you want, not something that's used against you. That's the main thing I got from it.
Well, for me, I mean, I kind of want to go over the 9 steps just so that y'all know, in case you don't want to check out the book. So, her 9 steps are: step 1, making peace with the past. So basically, also don't blame yourself for your past spending. That's one of her things. She says constantly, no shame, no blame. This is an awareness thing. You're now opening the can of worms and evaluating yourself. No shame, but there's no fault in it. Step 2, being in the present, tracking your life energy, so tracking your expenses. Step 3, where is it all going? Your monthly tabulation. Oh, that's your expenses. Step 4, questions that will transform your life. So basically, after every month, you can ask yourself these several questions, like, did I receive fulfillment, satisfaction from what I spent? So that's step 4. Step 5, making life energy visible. So basically, like making a whole chart so you can track like on a yearly basis, not just on a monthly basis. Step 6, valuing your life energy and minimizing spending. So that's where she gives you ideas of how to cut costs. Step 7, valuing your life energy, maximizing income, helping you generate ideas of how you can make more income. Step 8, capital and crossover point, which is what Shawn was referring to. So if you want to start investing and how much you need and how many years before you can be financially independent. And step 9, investing. So more investing into being financially independent, essentially. Those are the 9 steps. Pretty big. But if you want more details, please check out the book. Something, I guess I'm going to piggyback on them again. I've always, since growing up, my mom has always instilled values in me to about saving money. I've always been like a saver. Always try to save 10% of everything you make. And even in high school, I remember I took a Money Matters class, and they gave us kind of like a monthly tabulation, like what she says in this book. And I was like, oh, I've been doing this for years. But all I've been doing is tracking. But after reading this book, it's your money or your life. Now I'm more evaluating what this gazingas pin is worth for my life, and if it makes me happy. And a lot of times I will be happy, I'm just gonna get this. When I was younger, I'm gonna buy this bouncy ball because it makes me happy, but that might only make me happy for 5 minutes. So really evaluate the good and the bad.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something I'm gonna apply, and everybody should apply as well. Really think about what you want in life. Don't settle for a job that you're not happy for. There's plenty of ways to make money. And do you want to spend your life in a job you don't like your money, for money, or do you want to live a happy life? Your money or your life. By Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez and Mr. Money Mustache. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. Thank you, Monique and Joseph. You can check us out through YouTube and podcasts. And to find more about the book, you can look at yourmoneyoryourlife.com or vickyrobin.com. And thank you again to our guest, Monique Walker. And you can find more about her on LinkedIn, Monique Walker MD, or check out her podcast, Conversations with Dr. Walker, and her blog, walkerperspective.blogspot.com. And lastly, her website, MoniqueWalkerMD.com. So find as much information as you can. And thank you so much again. And don't forget, hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle.
All right.